Black Ops 2 is my favorite COD of all time, and I think a lot of people can agree, a lot of legacy players can agree, that it is one of their favorite CODs of all time. I really enjoyed it as a kid. I was one of those kids where I was one of the day one people, and throughout the whole life cycle, I bought all the DLCs, I went through all the crazy changes of that game, and it was amazing. It was definitely the peak of, I would say, my childhood gaming experience. At least when I started out, I think it was just such a good peak of a game, and I love to go back and play it all the time. It's great. And for people that also want to do that and come back and play it, this video is for you. Now, specifically, this is for people that play on the PS3, because on the Xbox, obviously, you have backwards compatibility. I believe the game is also on Game Pass, so you can get it for PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass. And you can also play it on Plutonium if you play it off of Steam. I've not tested any of those platforms. I only am talking about the PS3, so that is a bit of discretion for this video. So, as of now, the state of Black Ops 2 on PS3 has been playable. I think a lot of people are skeptical of trying to boot up their old PS3 if you still have it, to play matches on there because of modders and hackers that really infiltrate the lobbies in multiplayer specifically. But it is playable. I've been playing it for about 2 years now, maybe not super consistently, but enough to say that I have had an enjoyable experience. But it is irritably unmanaged, and rightfully so, because the game is literally 12 years old, and Activision does not go back and adjust their old titles when it comes to Call of Duty. Usually they pretty much leave them alone after their life cycle has ended. For the PS3 specifically, it's a little interesting how you want to get back into playing multiplayer consistently. So if you have an old account, that's great, because you want to hold on to that account and use that one. For some reason, accounts that are created after 2021, I believe, maybe 2020, they don't access the game like normal, like just booting up the game and playing. You have to go through a little series of steps to actually play online. It's very interesting how it works. There's a video about it. You can look it up, just like how to play Black Ops 2 on the PS3, like how to get into an online lobby if you have a newer account. But it's very strange. I've had to do it before because I lost my account, my old account on my PS3, and I had to make a new one. And when I made the new one, I had to go through these stupid steps just to play online. And then even when you do that, I think you still lose your progress if you log out. Like if you exit the game and come back, you lose the progress that you just made from hopping online. I'm not too sure if it's changed now. I haven't tested it, but since I have access to my old account now, I just use that. So if you have an old account, I recommend using that. There was a period of time, I think a little bit closer to last year, maybe 6 or 7 months ago, you couldn't edit your emblems. You couldn't edit them, you couldn't change them, like you couldn't switch between emblems or delete them. But that is now fixed, so that's good. I think a wipe of hackers has been distributed a few months ago. It was definitely noticeable because I would play closer to last year, and I would find maybe a mod or hacker in my lobby every few matches, maybe every 2 matches or so. But now it's very inconsistent. I don't really find many modders or hackers anymore. And when I do, I mean, I just leave the match and switch to hardcore. That's a good strat to do, or just wait. Maybe wait like 2 minutes or something. It is a little frustrating, but it's a lot safer to do that than mess with a hacker and potentially get all your information stolen. But it's very unlikely they do that. I don't think I've had that happen to me before. It's just more kind of an inconvenience because you're getting headshotted across the map through walls by a guy holding an FAL and a riot shield. But yeah, you can just back out of that lobby and join hardcore maybe for a bit, or just wait. That's usually what I do. And I think they're slowly trickling back in, but not as much. I don't know. A lot of those accounts were probably bot accounts that were really old, and they're just kind of they just got wiped off, so they're not there's not as many as there used to be. And when I speak of hacking, since there's not as many hackers accounts, like hacker accounts anymore, there are lobbies that are hacked constantly throughout Black Ops 2. And you can easily detect these lobbies when usually you're playing TDM because there's no other game mode to play. And in TDM, the max number count for those lobbies is 12. But if it's a hacked lobby, it says 13 at the top. And you can also not vote for a map without your vote being revoked. It's really weird. So like you'll vote for, let's say like firing range, and then all of a sudden it'll, or I guess it's called studio now. In Black Ops 2, it's called studio. You vote for studio, and your vote will actually be taken away, and that's like a sign that you're in a hacked lobby. Now, being in a hacked lobby doesn't guarantee there's a hacker in it. I've been in plenty of hacked lobbies where it's just normal players just, you know, playing the game. But the frustrating part about those lobbies is that you'll probably hop in a match, you'll play for about like 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden you get DC'd from the game. You'll get your classic Ethernet port graphic on the screen, and you'll get booted from the lobby. And this happens to everybody. This is not just you, like losing connection to the host. This is the whole lobby being disbanded, basically. And this happens constantly. This is probably the most common scenario you'll find in Black Ops 2 when you're playing multiplayer. You'll get kicked out of lobbies back to back a bunch. Now, if your lobby isn't hacked, and you can vote for your maps, and it says 12 max players at the top, then you should be okay. You're most likely going to be disconnected from the host if you get disconnected at all. So that's a better scenario than being disconnected just in general. Now, I don't know why this happens. I don't know how this happens, but it is a very common issue in Black Ops 2 on PS3. Now, the best times I can tell you for playing Black Ops 2, I live in the eastern coast of the US, so this is Eastern time, is around noon. So if you play maybe earlier in the morning, like 10 a.m. to noon, that's probably a good time. Or then like noon to like 3 o'clock is probably the latest you can maybe find very good matches. Those are like the peak times, I would say. And then definitely after dinner in like the early evening, if you play around like 6 to 7, those are also good times to play. I think that's when most people get on for the PS3. And one last thing I'll probably add is if you have any of the DLC, make sure you have either all of it or just none of it. Because if you have like maybe 1 or 2 DLCs, it's going to try to match you up with another player that has the same exact ones that you have. And that's very unlikely. It works a lot like Black Ops 1. You just can't have mixed DLCs. You have to either have all of them or none of them. And I prefer to have all of them because I like all the maps that come with the game. So I choose to play with all of them. You probably will have an easier time just playing the base game to find matches, but I mean, I've bought the DLC a long time ago. I like playing them, so I kind of just stick with it and deal with it. And yeah, that's about it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, you can leave a comment down below, and maybe I can do another review of matches from an old COD. I might do World at War. That'd be a fun one. I definitely want to do Black Ops 1, but I've been having a lot of time and trouble figuring out DLC issues for that. Content around the PS3 is very hard to get a hold of if it's on multiple accounts that you don't own. So I've been dealing with that. But yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.